Now, after working with retirees for more than 15 years now, I've noticed something. When people look back, they don't usually regret the everyday things, like whether they should have had steak or chicken for dinner, or whether they should have driven a Honda instead of a Toyota. What they regret are the bigger choices, the financial decisions that shape their options, the lifestyle decisions that shape their health and their relationships, the opportunities that they let slip by because they thought that they'd always be more time. And when you sit with enough retirees and you really listen, you start to see these patterns. So today, I want to share with you the most common things retirees tell me they wish they had done differently. Now, my hope is simple. If you're still planning for retirement, you can learn from these lessons now rather than looking back later with regret. Because the truth is, regret isn't just about failure, it's feedback. And if you take it seriously, it can change the way that you plan for your retirement. So let's start here. Why even talk about regret? Now, for some people, it feels uncomfortable, right? Who wants to think about mistakes? But the truth is, regret is one of the most powerful teachers. And when retirees tell me what they wish they had done differently, they're not just sharing disappointment, they're sharing wisdom. They've lived through those choices, they've seen the outcomes, and now they can look back with clarity. And that perspective is incredibly valuable for those of us who are still making decisions today. So let's look at two categories, or two big categories of regret: financial regrets and lifestyle regrets. The first set of regrets are about money, and they're the ones I hear most often. Regret number one is about waiting too long to start planning. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, Adam, I wish I had started this sooner. People put off retirement planning because they're busy with work, raising kids, paying the mortgage. But the truth is, the earlier you start, the easier it is. Compound growth and good habits make a huge difference. Regret number two, not saving enough early. Now, this one ties in very closely because retirees often wish they had prioritized savings earlier in life, even if it was just these smaller amounts, because by the time you're in your 50s and 60s, you can't get back those years. Now, regret number three is about taking CPP and OAS at the wrong time. And this is a big one in Canada. I've had clients who have taken CPP at 60 and later said, I wish I had waited. And others who waited until 70, but later admitted, I wish I had taken it sooner and enjoyed the money while I was still healthy. Now, the regret often isn't about the math. It's about not matching the decision to their lifestyle and their health. Regret number four is about carrying too much debt into retirement. Now, some retirees still have mortgages, lines of credit, or they've got credit cards when they stop working. And for many of them, they tell me that it's added stress that they didn't expect. Debt reduces flexibility, and in retirement, flexibility is everything. Regret number five is underestimating healthcare and long-term care costs. Now, we're lucky in Canada to have healthcare covered, but not everything is free. Dental, vision, prescription, home care, assisted living. Now, all these costs add up. Now, I've seen retirees blindsided by how much it actually costs to get the care that they need later in life. Now, the second set of regrets aren't about money at all. They're about how people lived. So regret number one is about retiring without a plan or purpose or even structure. Now, a lot of people dream of the day when they stop working. But then a few months in, they find themselves asking, what do I do now? Now, without a plan for meaning and structure, retirement can feel very empty. Regret number two, putting off travel or big experiences. Now, this one is heartbreaking. Retirees tell me that they waited until they were in their late 70s to start traveling, only to find that maybe they had a health issue that limited what they could actually do. Now, they wish they had taken those trips, climbed those mountains, or gone on those adventures way earlier. Regret number three is neglecting health. Now, many say that they wish they had taken better care of themselves, exercising, eating better, managing stress earlier in life, because once health issues start to show up, it can limit not just your longevity, but your quality of life in retirement. Regret number 4, not talking openly about money with their spouse or their kids. Now, money silence really creates stress. Retirees wish they had communicated more about goals, about expectations, about estate planning. Some even admit that avoiding these conversations really caused a lot of family conflict later down the road. Now, let me share a few stories that have really stuck with me over the years. One client, let's call him Jim, he planned to retire at 62, but he kept putting it off. One more year, he kept saying. But by the time he finally retired, his health had started to really decline. He told me later, Adam, I should have gone earlier. I lost years that I'm never going to get back. Then I had another client, let's call her Mary. She downsized really quickly after retiring, thinking it was going to be a really smart financial move, but she really regretted it. She missed her garden, her neighbors, and the sense of home that she had built through decades of time. So she told me, I wish I had thought more about lifestyle, not just about the money. And then also another couple I'll never forget, I worked with who they delayed these big trips up until their late 70s. But by then they had a lot of mobility issues. So these long flights, unfortunately, weren't really an option. So their active vacations that they also wanted to go on, well, they were just impossible at this point. And they admitted that they wished they had taken these adventures earlier in their 60s or in 50s when they still had the health and energy. These aren't failures, they're just lessons. And these lessons are worth paying attention to. So what can we take away from these regrets? Well, first, start planning early. Even if you're not close to retirement, start running the numbers now, thinking about your lifestyle, building flexibility into your plan. Second, balance saving for tomorrow with living today. Now, I've seen retirees who saved every single penny and died with millions, but they missed out on the experiences that they wanted to have. And then I've seen others who spent too freely and struggled later. Now, the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. Third, focus on the big 4 areas. That's financial. Make a plan, manage debt, and think about taxes. Second, health. Take care of yourself now, not just later. Third, relationships. Invest in family and friendships. Fourth, purpose. Know what will give you life and meaning after work ends. And if you can keep those 4 in balance, you're already going to be ahead of the game. Here's the truth. You can't avoid every regret in retirement. Life is unpredictable, but you can learn from those who have gone before you. You can use their hindsight as a foresight. So ask yourself, what do you want to look back on with pride? And what do you want to make sure that you don't regret? Because retirement isn't just about money. It's about choices. It's about timing. It's about living a life that you'll be glad that you lived. If you want to avoid some of these regrets, start planning now, financially and personally. And if you'd like to go deeper into building a retirement plan that suits you and helps you make the most of your time and your money, you can visit me anytime at stonecitywealth.com. I'm Adam. We'll see you in the next video.